Hello, my name is Caroline Peters, and this is my final portfolio project submission for presentation. I've completed my project on an imaginary company that sells children's clothing online. The company's name is Jack and Kate Plus Co., kind of mocked off of my niece and nephew. Completely imaginary, not real, doesn't actually sell anything, but in this visioned up concept, they do sell children's t-shirts as well as eco-friendly cloth diapers, both of which are items that my sister buys for my niece and nephew. The target market in this instance, in this company, would be for millennials aged 25 to 40. The 40 is on the older side, but they would generally be considered millennials. And they would be parents of children between the ages of an infant to 6 years old. Concerning the target market, some specifics of why children's clothing was used as a concept, as a company, is that children's clothing market is actually booming. It's been moving for quite a few years now. It has grown faster in profits and growth over the last 5 years than both women's wear and menswear. It's actually recession-proof, which is quite extraordinary, and just continues to be something in which people have no problem releasing their money for. This is partly given a demographic shift that's occurred in the last couple of years, which has spurred this growth. The demographic shift in particular happened around 2014 when the number of children being born actually started to increase and has increased every year since. Prior to that, the amount of children being born decreased in small amounts and in record amounts. But starting in 2014, people actually started to feel more comfortable with starting families. Additionally, people are having children later in life. So as they are having children later in life, they are more established in their careers. They are have more money for disposable things like children's clothing. And that is why, in fact, children's clothing market has boomed so greatly, and that it very much mimics adult wear, in that lots of the styles, designs, colors, concepts do mimic adult wear. This disposable income that these families have, having children later in life, or just being more economically stable to have children, does mean that the turnover for wardrobes increases in frequency, making the entire market just ripe for entrepreneurship, which is partly the reason for why this company exists. Slash doesn't exist because it's an imaginary, but why the concept is so fruitful and is such a great research tool for marketing. The company itself is called Jack and Kate Plus Co. As you'll see in my slides coming up, the concept is actually just circular with the lettering that says Jack and Kate Plus Co. The font I used is called Dan's Disney UI. It's a bit more of a fun, playful font that I use to kind of complement the childlike theme of the entire company. It's in a circle, and uses different shades of green, pale greens, slightly paler greens, kind of an aquamarine blue and light blue, as well as white throughout. These colors were chosen because they are together kind of create a feeling of calm, tranquility, peacefulness, mindfulness with the blue, and then juxtaposed to the green symbolizes nature and the eco-friendly and kind of complements the tranquility and the calmness that is. Both are they do contrast each other. They are adjacent colors on the color wheel, so that is why I chose them. And they do invoke those kind of pleasant, calming, trustworthiness emotions that many parents feel, because choosing the wardrobe for your child is very stressful. And having a logo with those types of colors that demonstrates both that the items are eco-friendly, as well as it's a brand at which you can trust that it's good quality, and that in this concept, the company itself is based off of my niece and nephew, so presumably it would be kind of a family-oriented company, in which the inspiration drove actually from children of the owner or CEO or the person who began the company. So it has that trustworthy family back stand out. It kind of does have a feeling that a child could write it, a very fun, playful feeling. I juxtaposed that with the font Futura. This is a very linear font. Sans serif doesn't really have too much specialness to it that makes it kind of stand out. It was used just for context information to kind of put the bulk data out there. You'll see that on the business card. It shows that as well. I did make use of various examples of colored outlined and colored fill of the fonts with Futura and with Dance Disney to make items stand out more on backgrounds that were white, backgrounds that were pale green, and backgrounds that were blue. And that way highlighting that they were there. You'll see on the brochure, the cover letter, the business envelope, on the bottom portion of it, the bottom line of it, that's where the social media is, and I made that repetitive throughout in the same theming. It may have different coloring in that each of them might have had different backgrounds, like I may have used dark blue with a white inset on a light green background on one of the items, and then on another thing like the brochure, if it had a white background, I was able to use blue and the light green as the outline and the font, the lettering indent. So that was used throughout. That kind of goes into the second, which is the repetition, the second principle, which is repetition, which was also used throughout. The logos were used extensively throughout, both in the use of the logo itself on the portfolio items, but also in the background. So you'll see on the birthday card, postcard mailer, I actually use just the logo's circle, the background of the logo. I used it just against one another, kind of outlaid throughout on a dark background to make it. But you'll see that it is the same throughout, but just kind of utilized in a different way to keep that repetitive unity and show the difference of it all. Additionally, I did utilize the alignment principle, which was kind of tedious and did take a while, but I believe I did that, especially with the logo itself, in the way that although it is circular, Jack and Kate, the two children figures in it, are actually slightly askewed from the center to offset the large nature of the wording on the side that says Jack and Kate plus Co. So I did that so that they would kind of show an equal base, so that when you see it, it didn't look lopsided, which I don't think it does. Additionally, throughout the trifold brochure, the spacing in between lots of the image figures, all of which were created in InDesign and Illustrator. They're all things that I've created myself, outlined. Nothing was Googled or searched for. Everything was pretty much just created from me, or what I did create in Illustrator, so that I could scale it, change the color of it, do what I wanted to actually do with it. Much of it was actually, a lot of the concepts, the images that I did use, and the graphics were maybe outlined from my own personal images of Jack and Kate, my niece and nephew, but were all created in Illustrator. That alignment throughout, trying to kind of show an equal, not too heavy on one side, not too light on the other, and just kind of make it orderly, but still with that element of playfulness and throughout. Additionally, my last concept that was utilized was proximity. Proximity is just spatial relationship between items within a design concept. I believe I also did use that throughout the portfolio, both within the logo and the space between the company name, Jack and Kate Plus Co., and the actual foreground children figures in the logo. I wanted to set enough space of the striped background in between those two so that they were offset, and so that they still kind of commanded both the wording itself and the image commanded full visual representation throughout it. Additionally, in the brochure and in the birthday card, you'll find that the way that items were spaced in the backgrounds, in the cross-stitching linear on each of the text boxes of the brochure pages, as well as the circles on the background of the birthday card, were all placed to show contrast, in that they may have been the direction changed on them, or they may have been increased to show a certain color within it, but they were all essentially placed in the same general area based on the designated page size, but the placement of them was very specific. So that is my presentation. I apologize that I can't actually physically be there. If there is anything else needed from me, please do just feel free to text me, email me, do let me know. I am in Orlando right now with my family and on vacation, but I am very sorry that I can't be there, and thank you so much for allowing me to submit this electronically through video. Thank you very much, and I hope everyone has a great next semester and a wonderful break.